So, what is operations strategy? Let's talk about some specifics. Our operations strategy has to be related to our corporate strategy. If we're trying to be a low cost provider, that is a very different strategy than trying to be a luxury good. So, understanding our corporate strategy will help us understand everything else. Corporate strategy will end up defining our target market, the customers that we're trying to provide services to or products for. It will help us define competitive priorities, which we'll talk about more here in a second, any product or service design, and then ultimately strategies around how we do the work. So, for example, where are facilities located? How many and what type of employees do I need? What type of equipment do I need? So, when we think about strategy, we have to not only think about these ongoing day to day decisions, we have to think about the corporate strategy that's driving it. So we also need to be aware when we're taking a, competitive or strategic glance at our business, what would be considered order winners versus order qualifiers. Now, order qualifiers are kind of a minimum level of criteria that gets you into a market, whereas an order winner is something that differentiates you. So, for example, let's say I'm a customer and I'm trying to buy a brand new car, and I know that I want a black SUV with third row seating. That's a qualifier for me. So, I know it needs to be a black SUV. I know it needs to have the space for that third row seating. And that is really the only thing I'm considering as far as getting the short list. Now, the car that I actually buy will not only have all of those things, but it will have something else that's a differentiator. Maybe it's a better price, or it has better tech features, or it has a better, interior or safety rating than others, and that would be considered order winners. So, as a company, you should make sure you're clear on what your customers expect, both as order qualifiers and the differentiating factor, the order winners. Now, when we are thinking strategy, of course, we need to know what our priorities are. As a company, I've got limited time, limited resources. I can't do everything for everyone. So I have to kind of pick and choose what are really the critical decision making factors, the priorities. So priorities are directly linked to the type of company that I am trying to be. And whereas capabilities are those dimensions that I actually possess, the things I'm actually capable of doing. So let me talk you through some examples. For example, if I'm trying to compete on being a low cost provider, it means all of my underlying decisions have to be based on cost. I need the lowest cost labor, the lowest cost facilities, the lowest cost shipping. And I'm designing my processes of how I do my work to be the most efficient possible. That would be a low cost competitive priority. Decisions would be made accordingly. But I could also compete on quality. And when we think about quality, there's actually two different kinds of quality to make sure you're clear on. One is a top quality priority. This would be like luxury goods, high end brands, where you really are using higher end materials for manufactured goods. You might have exceptional customer service. You're known for top quality products and services. But the other type of quality that's less familiar is called consistent quality. And consistent quality is when my quality stays the same over time. So, McDonald's, for example, does this really well because they might not have the highest quality hamburger, but they're very consistent as you go to different McDonald's, and they are able to achieve that through standardized supply chains and standardized internal processes. Okay. But it's not just cost and quality. I can compete on other things as well. So I can compete on speed. For example, can I get something to a customer faster, delivery speed, or am I just super reliable and customers buy from me because they know I'm on time and reliable? Or maybe I develop things faster and I bring things to market quicker. So I can compete on a speed based priority, even though this is a challenging priority to maintain over time because all of your competitors are getting faster too. So it really has to be built into your underlying operations to be able to maintain this type of speed priority. And then some final things that you can compete on are things like customization of your product or service. Maybe you provide a unique touch that no other competitor is doing, or different variety to the market. So people just like your options better. Um, and then a final kind of area of priority that you could have would just be your ability to be flexible. So, and this is flexible on the upside or the downside. So you can handle large swings in demand, which allows for companies or customers to buy from you when those swings and those various volume demands are needed. So, as a company, you need to be very clear on corporate strategy. That corporate strategy should drive your operation strategy. The operation strategy should clarify your priorities, your competitive priorities for decision making. And ultimately, that core alignment between all of those things will allow your business to be successful.